Welcome back to Legalese 123, where we are covering cases across America. Hello and welcome back to Legalese 123. I'm your host, Missy K. I hope everybody is doing well on this Friday, the 23rd of January. Wow, it is cold outside. It is so cold outside. It's so cold outside. I cannot state that enough. We're supposed to go out and do a couple of things. Cars wouldn't start. Garage doesn't open. So guess what? Not doing anything. So what's better than to be here and start streaming and getting today's courting? So earlier today, they were outside the presence of the jury. They were doing jury instructions, etc. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and get into trial. So without further ado, let's begin. Judge Penny. I don't know what we're waiting for. I thought we were right where we needed to be.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll go ahead and send your witness the link now.
Yes.
And then whenever you're ready for him, if you could give us a little head, might add a witness.
Yes.
Okay, Detective Miller is back on the stand. Are we going to get to the point of what WTF? WTF. Why is he up on the stand? Is he on the stand to state some things came in, some things didn't come in? Get to the point. We're day 8. I just don't know anymore. I'm just so baffled. Detective Miller was witness number 4, and then he testified again. So that was
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
4A. Now here we are again, 4B.
Your next
Okay, that's
question
my
for
own
Detective Miller.
thing.
Mr. Carroll? Yes, sir.
4B. Detective Miller. What is going on today? Oh. And my YouTube thing is messing up.
Good morning, Detective Miller.
Good morning, sir.
We finished off yesterday, and we had talked about a couple of issues, and I wanted to raise those again with you. Now, when you testified yesterday, do you remember the screenshots that were shown to you?
I remember seeing screenshots, yes.
Okay. And the screenshots were relating, I think you'd called them images, correct? I'm talking specifically about the portable case information.
A portable case is not an image.
But you had referred to it as an image. Because we sent you pictures.
I don't believe I referred to it as an image.
Sarah, maybe we approach the bench for a
Right.
second.
Guess what? We're having issues already.
Did you acquire that data? So did you image or acquire all of the devices in this investigation?
Data was acquired from all the devices in this, yes, by me.
Did you acquire that data?
Yes, I did the acquisitions for these devices.
And did you acquire the images and all the data that came from these devices in a forensically sound manner consistent with your training and best practices?
Yes,
Did you process the extracted data using forensically approved and verified tools?
yes,
This is the same data you produced to detectives and supervisors during this investigation, correct?
the data provided for discovery would have been the same that I provided to the detectives, yes.
Okay. So, and these were produced from the devices you acquired and they were turned over in discovery as required, correct?
Yes,
There are 4 open, I'm going to show you 4 open magnet portable case files with the court's permission on a laptop for you to be able to review. Can you please confirm that these productions you made for the respective devices, Christine Banfield's laptop, Christine Banfield's cell phone, Juliana Magalhaes' cell phone, and Brendan Banfield's personal cell phone? And I'll show you this so you can make that determination. Sarah, may I?
This time.
May I approach the witness?
Is he
Okay,
alluding
you
that
can
he
show
didn't
what you're
get
gonna
some
show, too.
discovery? Is he alluding that he didn't download everything? Is he alluding to that he missed something? Is this where we're going? He looks a little apprehensive. I would too. Because there's his PI. His PI is saying, probably going to say, hey, you missed something.
And you're welcome to look at some items. Sir, I'm going to show you some items, magnet portable cases for 4 separate extractions. And you're welcome to look and confirm for yourself. Take your time. There are 4 separate files down here. So if you'd like, you can make sure that you're certain as to what it is you're looking at.
I'm getting out my crystal ball. My crystal ball, he's going to be like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't recall. They look like I did. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because dude, like this happened 3 years ago.
Thank you.
And he's on the stand and
First one, you tell me what you're on and we'll go either left or right depending on it.
I'm on the furthest one on the left, which is titled Christine Lenovo Reparse.
Okay. And what device would that be for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
That was the Lenovo laptop.
Okay. And that was Christine's known laptop?
That was the device identified that she used, yes.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to look at this is a portable case, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And this is the portable case that you provided in discovery to the defense or to the Commonwealth, and then they provided it to us?
yes,
Okay. And this is what you provided to anyone else who wanted access to it, such as Detective Bryant and Lieutenant Giacchio?
yes, this was provided for everybody for review.
Was the data that was provided in with regards to the laptop, was that the data that Lieutenant Giacchio was reviewing?
I would imagine, but I can't speak to what he was reviewing at any given moment if I'm not there.
And so when you were talking with him, was it ever discussed as to what it is that he reviewed?
There were many conversations. As far as any particular item out of any one of those conversations, it's hard to pick out, but this would have been one of the things worked off of to discuss the items.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one.
Yes, sir.
I believe in order it would be Christine Banfield's phone. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And same questions. This is a portable case based upon your work extracting from Christine Banfield's phone.
yes,
And did you have enough time to look through that and make sure that that's accurate as to what your work product was?
as best I can in a short period of time. I can't go through every item.
Actually, to tell you the truth, if you need to go through every item in order to be able to say that's what you were working on, we'll have you do that.
I mean, this appears to be the portable case generated by me, which would have been provided.
Okay. And that's the item that, or the data that comes from that, or what you provided to the Commonwealth to provide to discovery in our for the defendants.
Yes,
Okay. And was that, if you know, was that discovery provided to Juliana Perez Magalhaes' lawyer?
I don't know personally what was provided in discovery to her attorney.
Is it fair to, well, when did you provide that to the Commonwealth?
I provided everything to the detectives, and then that was subsequently provided to the Commonwealth.
And when was the time frame for that?
For speculation.
Overruled, you can answer.
I would imagine it would be prior to a discovery order.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a timeline. How long did it take for you, if you can tell from your work product, to arrive at that data compilation?
I mean, I can tell that it was scanned in on February 3rd,
February 3rd of what day?
2023.
2023. Are you certain of that?
So when I'm looking at the case processing details on this page, I can see that that phone was scanned in by me into Magnet on 3/3/2023.
Oh, 3/3. Okay, sorry. March
I'm sorry.
2nd. Okay, that makes
If I
sense.
misspoke.
Let's go on to, and I'm sorry, let me just finish up those questions on Christine Banfield's phone. Was the data that was recovered from your extraction, was that the data that was also provided to the lead homicide detective at the time, Kyle Bryant?
Yes, everything I had was provided.
Okay. And was that also provided to whoever else was interested in digital forensics, like Lieutenant Giacchio?
I would imagine anybody who needed to review it, it would be accessible.
Okay. And did you know that, or was there any sort of protection as to that data in terms of the investigation?
As in, was the Was the portable case password protected? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking, was the portable case open to every police officer in the police department, or was it open to people specifically with regard to this case, or is it even smaller people that were involved in the case and only needed to see it? Do you know how it was restricted?
That's a lot of people.
I would imagine whoever needed to look at it would be able to based on what was provided to detectives.
Okay.
Judge, I am going to object to the speculation if he's imagining he doesn't
All right,
know.
sustain as to the speculation.
Now, sir, let's move on to the third portable case that you created.
He's getting a little
Do you
red.
identify that?
It is titled Nanny Phone.
Okay, would that be a title that you gave to
Phone.
that document in that portable case?
Yes,
Okay, so you remember doing that?
yes,
And same questions. The data that was extracted from that, was that what you provided to Detective Bryant as part of this homicide case?
yes.
And was that what you provided to or gave access to? And I'm not going to try to pin you down on who or what, but it sounds like it was available to anybody who wanted to look at it.
Yeah, that would be, once I pass it on, I can't speak to who else would have looked at it and when.
Okay, that's fine. And that was also, I think I may have said this, that was included in discovery or to Detective Bryant, who would have given it to the Commonwealth for discovery, correct?
I would imagine so, yes.
Okay. Now, and just to be,
Okay, I know this sounds repetitive. I know he has to do this. He has to go through each one of these and say, okay, did you do this? Did you download this? And was it available to everybody else? Because I have a feeling they're going to impeach him and say, you didn't download everything, or somebody wasn't provided with something. So he's going to be sort of the scapegoat here. And when I don't know if another detective or his PI person or another digital forensic person is going to come on and start. It's a battle of the experts, right? I say one thing, you say another. And not only that, but this guy also is no longer a digital forensics person. And because John Patrick Borsch yesterday stated he didn't agree with the analysis, therefore he said you can't be a digital expert anymore. It could go beyond that. Hey, he doesn't work anymore as a digital forensics expert because not only did he come up with the wrong analysis, although the analysis fits the defense theory, which was that Christine was the one that manipulated her devices, it could also just be, hey, he didn't do his job properly. So, and that's what they do. Law enforcement is always subject to, you messed up. They're always under a microscope. They're always scrutinized.
consistent, this would be what
Whether
Brian could have looked at?
whether they did or didn't do anything nefarious, right? They're just doing their job. Everybody is human, right? Nobody is perfect. You miss something, etc. Now, what does that mean in the context of everything when you're putting puzzle pieces together? Will this move the needle? Will this be the nail in the coffin that says, oh, yes, Christine was the one that was manipulating it. She was the one that had Joe come over. Regardless of that, let's play devil's advocate here. What if Christine did set up the Fetlife account? What if Christine did have Joe Ryan come over? Juliana Magalhaes already testified Joe Ryan wasn't the one who injured Christine. It was Brendan. How are you going to change that narrative? Let's go. Just
And
think
Lieutenant
about
Joshua
those things
was
as we go along.
Judge, objection asked and answered. He indicated he gave it to Kyle Bryant. From that point forward, it's accessible. He doesn't know who else saw
Asked and
it.
answered is all I need. Thank you. I'll sustain the objection.
Fine. If it's asked and answered, that's fine, Judge. Can we move on to the fourth item that you're looking at there?
Yes.
And what is that?
That's a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra.
And who is the owner of that?
Let me look real quick. I believe this is Brendan Banfield's phone.
Okay. And same questions. You extracted data, and this is the source of that data, correct?
This was what was provided to the detectives, yes.
Okay. And describe what a portable case is for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
A portable case is a report that is generated through a forensic tool called Magnet Axiom. It is a way for the information that is in Axiom to be put into a readable format, similar to Axiom, but not quite as robust. But it's in a format that someone would be able to navigate in a more user-friendly method.
And once you do your extractions, is this the format that you would rely upon in answering questions that may come up, things like that?
I think that would depend. If there are certain things that are better able to be seen in Axiom itself versus in a portable case. But again, the data is in here.
Okay. Would you utilize that as a resource if you needed to know something about the data that was in there?
Yes, I would use this to search for information.
Your Honor, I'd move the first file, which would be named 120, Defense Exhibit 120, which would be the portable case for Christine Banfield's Lenovo laptop.
All right, any objection?
Judges counsel going to be able to share that with the jury?
You're not publishing it this time, just into evidence, is that correct?
Yes.
Any objection?
Can we purge?
Yeah,
All right, 120 in evidence.
Sir, moving on to Christine Banfield's phone, which would be the second file that we reviewed. Your Honor, we'd move into evidence as exhibit number 121.
All right, any objection?
No, ma'am.
Sir, the third portable case that we just discussed is named Nanny phone, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, we would move that into evidence
Any objection?
pursuant to
No objection.
as Defense Exhibit 122.
122 in evidence.
And sir, the last file, which you've identified as Brendan Banfield's phone, Your Honor, we move that in as Defense Exhibit 123.
Any
No objection.
123 in evidence.
okay, so I'm just thinking ahead, right? The defense is going to bring on some expert, whether it's this PI guy or somebody else, to dispel what this gentleman has to say, right? And it's not going to be, oh, surprise. The prosecution knows what's coming. First of all, they have a witness list, so they know what witnesses are going to be testifying. And if the expert witness, the PI, Mr. Ledisky, if he is testifying to something, he would have had like a report, or they would have had to write what the expert witness was going to testify to in either a motion in limine or some sort of report or something like that. So the prosecution probably already knows what they're going to testify to so that they can be prepared and they can ask questions of the witness. Typically, nothing should be a surprise unless there is a discovery violation issue, right? That the prosecution didn't give something to the defense coming through the court or somehow or another found something. And now they're like, hey, judge, listen, this wasn't given in discovery. We want to bring it in. And then they have an argument back and forth whether or not it's going to be more probative versus prejudicial and whether or not it's going to help the jury discover new things and whether or not it should come in. If it's a discovery violation on either part, sometimes they don't come in because you didn't disclose it in time. The other party doesn't have time to dispel that information and get their own experts or review what's going on before they can go ahead and discredit whatever is going on. So let's see how this plays out.
Court's indulgence.
Court's indulgence.
Thank you, sir. All right, your next witness.
Okay, is he subject to recall?
Any further questions for Detective Miller?
Cross-examination?
No, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
right. I hesitate to ask if he's subject to recall.
Potentially subject to recall,
Okay,
Judge.
all right, so since you are subject
Yeah.
to recall, just not discussion testimony maybe at this time, okay?
Yes,
All right,
Your
thank you, sir. All right, your next witness.
Your Honor, I'd recall Harry Lidsky.
Okay, can you retrieve his laptop? too? Thank you.
Can we leave that there, Judge?
Oh, you need that? Oh, never
Yeah.
mind. Sorry.
Okay, so
Thanks for the
Harry Ledisky
Sir, just a reminder
was
that you're still under.
witness
All
number
right, thank you.
5. So he's gonna be 5A now because this is the second time he's testifying. If you
So
recall,
calling your attention to what has been moved into evidence as
okay. If you recall, Mr. Ledisky was back on the stand earlier the other day, not yesterday, the day before that, because Detective Miller was on the stand first and they moved into his executive summary into evidence, but they didn't lay the foundation so it couldn't come in, so he couldn't talk about it. So then they had to bring Detective Miller back, lay the foundation and go into a whole bunch of other stuff. And then somehow or another yesterday he didn't come in and all these other people came in and now he's back. But this dude is a talker. he asks a question and he just goes on and on and on and on and on. There have been many times the prosecutor was like, he's not answering the question. Let's see if he'll answer questions.
Defense Exhibit 120, 121, 122, and 123. Are you familiar with those exhibits?
I am.
And have you had an opportunity to review those exhibits?
I have.
And state to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what did you do in your review as a digital forensic examiner?
Well, as Detective Miller indicated, these portable cases facilitate everybody to visualize the data from the respective devices, ourselves included. We use these, and we're able to look at both user accessible files, like what you would see on your phone, and we're also able to see the data behind the data frequently, which can be informative depending on the nature of the investigation.
And do you understand these items to be verified data extractions performed by Detective Miller using appropriate tools and best practices?
I do. I've reviewed his reports and came to the conclusion that he did everything exactly the way he should have and the way he was trained to do it using the tools that are approved by the industry and accepted by the courts.
And do these items, specifically the exhibits, provide us an opportunity to review the raw data extracted from their respective devices in a forensically sound manner?
They do. So the nature of the case, in addition to giving us visibility, bless you, into all of the data on the device, we can't alter anything, and that's what makes it forensically sound. That's what the term, how the term is defined. So anyone using this can't add anything. We can't delete anything. We can't change anything. If there was a virus on the device, it stays sandboxed within the case. It does not spread to our computer. So it's helpful in a lot of ways.
And so, is this considered a safe environment in the world of digital forensics?
It is, and that's the nature, the forensic and forensically sound. It prevents, it's not like blood evidence, but it prevents cross-contamination so that what's on here is on here exactly the way it was when the device was either imaged or acquired when Detective Miller did it back contemporaneous to the event back in 2023.
Based upon your review of this data, were you able to draw any opinions related to this case?
I was.
And what were those opinions?
That catfishing did not occur.
And did you produce any demonstratives that you can display to help walk us through your findings?
I have.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, catfishing did not occur. And so what does that mean? That means that they're saying that Brendan and Juliana they were not the catfishers, and that apparently Christine did this on her own. Let's see what he has to say. Oh boy, what are we doing? This is at 1.5, by the way.
I'm connecting.
Are we having problems displaying things?
Screensaver.
Technical difficulties?
Have been identified in the stipulation documents, correct?
They have.
And did that include Brendan Banfield's phone?
Okay, sorry.
The digital forensics have been identified in the stipulation documents, correct?
They have.
And did that include Brendan Banfield's phone
Yes, it did.
and Christine Banfield's phone
Yes.
and the laptop?
Christine's laptop, yes.
Juliana Magalhaes' phone?
Yes, among other devices, but these are the four central ones I reviewed.
Social media records from Google, Fetlife, Facebook, among others?
Among others, yes.
Video from surveillance?
Yes.
Obstruct objection leading.
All right, status leading.
What, if any, items were related to surveillance?
There was some video surveillance. There was electronic and physical surveillance involved in this investigation. That's all that comes to mind with regard to surveillance.
Did you rely on any interviews?
I was made available the entire investigation. That included videotaped interviews of the co-defendant, Ms. Magalhaes, both transcripts of interviews that she conducted with the police, with Fairfax County Police, interviews of witnesses, as I think Detective Smith testified to yesterday, the neighborhood canvases, notes, things like that. I've reviewed everything in this case.
Okay. I'm going to show you a slide. And Your Honor, we're just trying to determine what our previous number was for it.
If you show it to me first, then I
Yes.
can let you know.
I hope we get to see it, because if we don't get to see it, it's going to be really poopy. The at-home players want to see things. The at-home juries want to see things.
It's not in evidence.
Not in evidence. Sir, can you identify,
Is it a different number? I'm
this-
sorry, just hold on.
Judge, sorry, I'm scrolling back to 86. I was under the impression this was likely
Okay.
110.
This is your first slide after
after
the title page?
the title page,
This is the first
Okay.
one.
first one?
That's the first one you started with him when he was
Um,
originally on the stand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes, sir.
it's changed a little. This is
Okay.
technically.
So it
new.
is different.
It is
Okay.
different, yes.
All right.
Well, then,
Okay,
we'll-
so,
apologies.
okay, so this was not the first one that you had seen.
It's
The second or third?
it's a change of the first. It eliminates the
This is
party
$95.
number.
If you want
So
to give us a
this-
new
I think
number,
it's new.
124, Judge?
let's give this a new number. then.
So this, Your Honor, we've identified this as Defense Exhibit 124.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, do you see the slide here?
I do.
And what does it reflect?
This is a Facebook message sent by Christine Banfield.
And what, if anything, did
Can we
you
see it, please?
look at to determine this slide?
Even though it's a Facebook message, this was recovered from her mobile phone. So a lot of the data on our phones can occur in multiple places, right? So our email is on our phone, but it's also on the server of our respective email provider. This is a Facebook message. It likely is or was on the Facebook server, but this particular message came from her phone.
And was the phone one of the things that, the portable case that was moved into evidence through Detective Miller?
It was, I believe this was 122.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd move Exhibit 124 into
Any
evidence.
objection?
Objection, hearsay.
All right, hearsay.
Sir, Your Honor, I believe this is an artifact of the portable case.
You've got past the foundation. I agree with you. But now that we're past that hurdle, the next hurdle is hearsay.
And Your Honor, I think this is an artifact, and it's for whatever it is part of the portable
I'll
case.
sustain the objection to hearsay.
Sir, can you look at what would be marked as Exhibit 125?
That's in evidence.
Yes.
Oh, hold on a second. That's already in evidence. Okay, so
This particular,
I think that is in evidence as 110.
Well, I have it as 109 and then yesterday you clarified for the record, these as 109.
I'm sorry, I can't.
She said
Okay.
this was clarified as 110.
110, that's what I have it as well, 110. 110 in evidence. Yes, so it's already in evidence as 110.
sir, what is it? What is this artifact? Or can you explain what this is?
This is a calendar entry, a saved calendar event from Christine Banfield's mobile device or phone.
Okay, and is there anything notable in that artifact?
The date,
Okay, and any other aspects of the calendar entry?
it's what you'd expect, I think, from a calendar entry. It's a date and time. It was on Mrs. Banfield's phone, and the Gmail account associated with it was one that I believe was hers, attributable to her.
You're right. I believe that was admitted as
It
Exhibit
is, it's already
110.
being displayed to the jury.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see it. Come
Anything
on.
else about that particular artifact?
Let's see it.
Mr.
Court
Liskey?
TV. Come
It
on.
was an estimate for 10 a.m. for Windows. I could talk about why I think that might be informative.
Why would that be informative?
Objection, judge calls for facts not in evidence.
Overruled. I'll-
Well, from the information I reviewed in the case and the testimony this week and last, the window replacement was a topic at the window replacement at Banfield House was a topic discussed. I think this reveals that the window replacement project was, number one, dates back to 2021, far earlier
Objection
than.
calls for speculation. This particular document just says estimate 10 a.m. windows. We don't know if they had other window replacement projects.
I'll sustain the objection.
So in 2021, Christine Banfield was scheduling a window estimate at 10 a.m.
Okay. Sir, I think this might be 111, Judge?
I don't like this.
112.
Thank you, Sylvia. He owes you something at the end of this. All right, 112. And it's not in evidence.
Sir, do you identify this
No.
slide?
No, judge, this was previously offered and denied.
It's not in evidence.
Correct.
Right.
So
It was previously offered. See what happens. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, can you identify this?
Yes, these are messages sent by Christine Banfield from her device, excluding any other party.
And what is notable within these messages?
Their discussions about having the windows
judge,
replaced.
objection. He's testifying to the subject matter. It's hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
What about the date and time?
These are from June 28th, 2022.
Sorry,
You just changed.
I know,
this.
sorry. My big fingers.
There you go.
Sorry, did you see that before my fingers caused it to go?
Yes, these are from mid-2022, late June.
And sir, do you see the item on the screen?
I do.
Okay, and what is this?
More messages from Christine Banfield.
Objection as to The hearsay, he cannot testify to what's in the document.
What's notable about the date and the time on this particular message?
Is this 114?
It should be, Judge.
I just want to make sure for the record. It's okay. This is 114.
114.
These are from December 3rd, 2022.
Sharon, may we just approach for a moment?
They're not coming in because they're hearsay.
Move to enter 114.
Objection, hearsay.
Honor, I'd move to enter defense exhibit number 114.
Objection, hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
And sir, as to the windows, did the information that you received as an expert in forensics, digital forensics, did that inform your opinion?
It did.
Okay, and what is your opinion about the window replacement without getting into the hearsay statements?
That the project originated.
Objection, Judge calls for speculation. To refer to it as the project assumes that he is correlating this information with what occurred that's been admitted into
You
evidence.
want to rephrase?
I'll rephrase.
Yes.
With regard to the subject of windows, without specifically talking about a project, what does this indicate to you and what conclusions can you reach?
That Christine Banfield contemplated or explored a window replacement in 2021 related to issues of age and condition of her existing windows.
Judge, objection, he's testifying to the content.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Next question.
I think you just have, what's essentially, you can't go with the writing that's on there. Thank you. Now, sir, I'm going to show you,
Okay, so I have a better way of stating it. Judge Christine Banfield had messages about windows in 2021. And so, okay, so, and my guess is perhaps that, so they were talking about replacing the windows, right? A husband and wife are talking, it's a significant amount of money. Remember, it was like $30,000 replacing the windows. He probably, this is Juliana Magalhaes said that this is when they started their plan. Anyways, I don't have the timeline. I'll go back and look at, because when Juliana Magalhaes first came, Brendan and her did not have any interaction. Then it was later on that year, and I'm thinking this is, again, I don't know when she came, but she said it was like a year prior that they were planning this with the windows. I'll have to look and see. I'll come back to that.
125.
Your Honor, I believe defendant's 125.
Okay.
But the windows aren't at issue.
Sir, do you see
They're
the
trying-
picture on the screen there?
They're trying to negate that windows were ordered
Text,
because of sound.
but yes,
You see that?
I do.
Okay. Does Your Honor see it?
No, you have to go to the next slide. I think is what you're trying to get to. I mean, all we have is writing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
You want a
yes.
picture?
It's a picture of writing.
Okay, it's writing. Okay. That's what he said. Okay, 125. Okay. Yes, we can see that.
Okay. And you just see that, correct?
Correct.
And was this something that you reviewed in discovery to inform your opinions relating to the date that it shows on there?
This is something I reviewed from Discovery. I read it after my opinions were formed.
Okay, so let's just make that clear. And I think you had testified before. In what order did you review the items in evidence versus Detective Miller's findings?
I performed all of my work first before looking at Detective Miller's findings.
And so is this something that you looked at after you had arrived at your conclusions?
Yes,
Okay, and is this something that you relied upon in arriving at your conclusion today?
I didn't rely upon it. I have it here because Detective Miller said it in a way that it was both accurate and succinct. I couldn't do much better, so I copied his work.
Okay, and in terms of how would you characterize, so what is this part of this particular statement that's before you?
Objection, if he's going to testify to anything that's contained in the document, regardless of whether or not he copied it, it's hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
What document is this part of, a part of that you're looking at?
This is from Detective Miller's executive summary.
Okay, and did you hear any evidence in the court relating to Detective Miller's executive summary?
I did.
Okay, and who were the witnesses who were speaking of that?
Detective Miller.
Objection, calling for hearsay. The jury had the opportunity to hear the
All
testimony.
right, I'll sustain the objection.
Do you recall who? Well, okay. This was meant. Is it fair to say this was mentioned in court?
Yes.
Okay, and sorry.
126?
Sorry, Judge, I just, a little premature, I was
All right.
getting ready. So to avoid hearsay, because this is a written document, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how how this affected your conclusions as a result of your examinations?
This didn't affect my conclusions other than to corroborate them after I was done, seeing that our findings were aligned.
Okay, and do you agree with what you see on the screen here? That's hearsay that the jury can't see.
I do.
Sir, do you see the next slide on the screen?
I do.
And if you can describe what you see there on the screen.
Judge, I'd object to any description of the content, hearsay.
There are pictures there, Judge.
So if you could just maybe limit it to the pictures.
Okay, let's start with the pictures.
Okay.
Do you recognize those pictures?
I do.
And are those pictures that you were able to identify independently within the data that was provided in discovery for the defense?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and if we can look at the first picture, do you have any idea based on digital forensics where that picture was taken, or actually not where that picture was taken, where that picture came from?
The picture on the left?
Yes.
The picture on the left came from Christine Banfield's phone.
And the picture on the right?
Also.
Okay, and what processes did you utilize in order to reach those conclusions?
Well, as I was reviewing the data from Ms. Banfield's phone, I found them. They were familiar to me because I'd seen them from other sources, such as search warrant returns from Fetlife. I'd also seen one of them in Facebook returns that are returned as data provided by a service provider in response to a warrant. So I'd seen them both from multiple sources.
And the one on the left that you've identified, is there any way to know the timing of that based upon your analysis?
I believe it was January 17th, around 8 p.m.
And January 17th is significant in this case.
Objection, counsel's testifying.
Sorry, what's the significance of January 17th in terms of the issues in this case?
Yeah, and the photo I believe was actually closer to 7:30 or 7:20. January 17th was the day that the Fetlife account, which is obviously important in this investigation, was created. That is the user profile. Somebody set up an account on Fetlife, and one of these pictures came into play.
So let's take this opportunity to talk.
Oh, no. We're going to pause for a second here. I'm sorry. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Remember, Christine Banfield said that they had her phone and that they used her phone to create the Fetlife account, right? Because they needed an authentication. So if they created a Gmail account on her laptop, and then they created the Fetlife thing, and let's just say two things can be true at the same time. These pictures were on her phone, right? So all they had to do was take the pictures off her phone and put it onto Fetlife. If these pictures were on Facebook, you can copy and paste pictures off of Facebook and put them somewhere else. Anybody can do that. So to me, this is not 100% indicative that it was Christine Banfield who made the account. Still not convinced.
About the accounts that were set up that were alleged to have been run by Juliana Magalhaes in her recant. What were the accounts that we're talking about?
So there's 3 accounts. There was the Gmail account, there was the Fetlife account, and then the third would be the Telegram account.
And can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what's the significance of those 3 accounts and how are they linked?
So each account is linked to at least one other account. And that's significant for me as a digital forensic examiner because it's sort of a one or done. And the way the accounts were set up, so the Gmail account was set up first. The Gmail account was used to set up the Fetlife account. So you couldn't set up the Fetlife account unless you knew about and had access to the Gmail account. To have access to the Gmail account, you'd have to know it existed, and then you'd have to have the password to log into it. So the Gmail account sets up the Fetlife account. The Fetlife account was used to move conversations over to Telegram. So all three accounts are linked, and anybody that had knowledge of any one of the accounts owns all three of the accounts. You couldn't use one without the other. You couldn't jump into a Telegram conversation without knowing.
Okay. So then my question is, how do they know about these things? How do they know about Fetlife? How do they know about Telegram? Gmail, everybody knows. I don't know about Fetlife. I don't know about Telegram. So to me, you have to search for those things, right? Are there search terms on Christine Banfield's computer about these things? Is there search terms on Juliana Magalhaes' phone? Is there search information on Brendan Banfield's stuff about these things? Or is it all just contained in, like, how did this plan come together, right? You don't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to go on this fetish website. Some research has to be done, right?
First how it began from Fetlife, and you couldn't get into Fetlife without.
So I'm going to object to the speculation. Wouldn't be able to. There's no foundation for that.
All right, I'll sustain as to that, just that part.
Okay. In terms of the objection relating to foundation, what did you rely upon in order to inform those opinions that you're telling the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
The content of the data within the accounts and my knowledge of how accounts work in the Fetlife responsive documents from the Fairfax County Police Department search warrant. It says right in there that the user email associated with this is the Gmail account. So the user connected the accounts. The Telegram connectivity is based on the content from the Fetlife messages. Please contact me. Do you have Telegram? Please contact me there.
Still not convinced.
Sure, I'm going to have you look at the next slide. Is this the foundational artifact that supports your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
So this is a picture that Ms. Banfield took of herself on the evening of January 17th.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. Is that 115?
This would be 127.
127. Your Honor, I move that in as defense exhibit 127.
Any objection to 127?
No, ma'am.
Okay, 127 in evidence, so you can publish to the jury.
And so if you can just explain to the
wanna
ladies
see-
and gentlemen of the jury what's the significance of that artifact and what you took from it to arrive at your conclusions.
So it's a picture, obviously, of Ms. Banfield. I'd characterize it as a selfie in the mirror. The file name and date, or the file name, that's what I'd call a typical Samsung or Android file naming convention. So in line with what I'd expect to see for a picture taken by a Samsung mobile device. At the very bottom of the screen, you can see that it is a Samsung phone model SMG991U. The dates and times, the date and time here that's relevant is January 17th, 2023 at 7:20 and 45 seconds PM. If you look at the file name 4 lines above, that is the typical Android file naming convention that's comprised of the date. So we see 2023 0117 underscore, and then 1920, which is 7:20 in 24-hour time.
Now, the software and the make and the model, is that significant? Does that corroborate anything that you've identified?
Yes, the make and the model is corroborative. This phone was in fact a Samsung SMG991U, which informs me that this picture was actually taken in what we call native to the device. So it's a photo both contained on the device, but taken by that device rather than one you'd get.
Okay. Why did she take this picture? Why did she take a picture of her in a bathing suit, right? So, speculation, just a couple of things. One, were they going to go on vacation somewhere? It's January. Who's wearing a bathing suit in January, right? Are they going to go on vacation somewhere? Two, again, I want to know what well, we're not going to know the communication between her and her husband. I speculated earlier about sort of like, what did he tell her to sort of set her up for this? Again, I'm not buying it. Still not buying it. Not there yet. Not there yet.
in a text message or email as attachment.
Your Honor, I don't believe I previously identified it, but I would put it in as Defense Exhibit 127.
This one, it's already
Wait.
been, it's been published for the last.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm covering my bases.
Okay.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at this item. Do you see that on the screen?
I do.
And are those digital artifacts that you relied on in arriving at this?
You could call them.
Describe what you have, what you see in that slide.
So this is part of the responsive documents received in this case from Facebook. And so the information, it is digital, it is artifacts, but it's not recovered from a device so much as from provided by Facebook from their servers.
Okay. And did you create this slide?
I did, yes.
Okay. And what's the significance of the notations on the left side? Actually, Your Honor, I would move to enter into evidence. I think Defense Exhibit 127,
128.
128.
128. Any objection to 128?
No, ma'am.
All right, 128 in evidence published, please.
Sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what those
Let's see it.
markings are, both on the left side of the picture and below the picture?
Yeah, so as I said, this is information that was provided by Facebook. This is where Christine shared this photo with Brendan. Just starting at the top left and working down into the right, the author, Christine Banfield, so it was sent by her from her account. It was sent on the service providers, in this case, almost universally provide us with documents in UTC, Coordinated Universal Time versus Old Greenwich Mean Time. So it needs to be adjusted. So this in February, or January, I'm sorry, we need to subtract 5 hours. So that's why it's appearing as January 18th instead of January 17th. But January 18th at midnight and 20 seconds, midnight and 20 minutes is actually January 17th at 7 p.m. and 20 minutes here on the East Coast. So she sent it in the body of the message she sent was new bathing suit included. And the artifact below that is just the attachment, which is this photo, and the name that the associated data that Facebook includes with that.
So let's just have a little discussion about UTC time. You called it Greenwich Mean Time.
They didn't clarify, but I'm thinking that she sent, they're talking about Facebook. Did she send it to him in Facebook Messenger? I just text it to him directly.
Time, correct?
Objection, Mr. Krzyzewski, he said that it is universal and it is a 5-hour difference. I believe it's been asked and answered.
I think you can explain it, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, was that a stipulation that it's a 5-hour difference?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so we don't need to explain too much now. Why are some items in UTC time versus present time?
My experience and what I believe to be the reasons, and this is universal with service providers from my experience, Google, Facebook, phone companies as well. They just provide everything in UTC time. So they provide it in one time zone and you have to do the work. Otherwise, they'd have to send records to Fairfax in East Coast time. They send them Chicago in Central time, LA, and they're providing records to law enforcement and legal counsel all over the world. So they just send it as UTC. That's, I think, why UTC exists, sort of to give us all something we can all start with and work with personally from there.
Thank you, sir.
Wait, okay, hang on.
Can you look at
So what time? Sorry, hang on. What time was this sent? It was sent on 118. Okay, so 118. And it was sent, they're talking about five hours UTC time.
Universal with service providers from my experience, Google, Facebook, phone companies as well. They just provide everything in UTC time. So they provide it in one time zone and you have to do the work. Otherwise, they'd have to send records to Fairfax in East Coast time. They send them Chicago in Central time, LA, and they're providing records to law enforcement and legal counsel all over the world. So they just send it as UTC. That's, I think, why UTC exists, sort of to give us all something we can all start with and work with personally from there.
Thank you, sir. Can you look at this next slide?
Yes.
Is that something that informed your opinion that you've been telling the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes, this is a digital artifact from a laptop.
Okay. And is that the laptop, Christine's laptop, that was introduced into evidence through the portable case with Detective Miller?
It is.
Okay. And can you explain, Your Honor, I moved that in as Cumul's Exhibit 129.
Any objection?
No objection.
129.
Sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that is and how that's significant?
Sure. This is a Windows event artifact. It contains a security identifier. So for Windows computers, every user is assigned a security identifier number, and that's the long number we see on the second line down, ending in 1001 on this case. So that just informs us of which user profile was active at the time that the activity took place. So a computer, if you have a shared computer in your household with 4 people, each one will have their own unique security identifier, and that's what you get when you log into your profile, and that's why your things will come up, your information, your email accounts, versus somebody else who might be using a shared computer. It could also be in play with, for work computers that are shared as well. The time and date are just that, and these have been. This is in East Coast time because of where the computer is located, and down to the bottom, the third line up, just tells us what this event represented, and this is just simply a log on to this device by that particular user with that security identifier of 1001.
Sir, I'm going to have you take a look at this slide. Is this a slide that you created for this presentation?
This is a screenshot of an artifact from the same computer.
And what's the significance? Well, Your Honor, move this in as Counsel Exhibit number 130.
Any objection?
No objection.
130?
So if you could go through this, what is the significance of this artifact in terms of a digital forensic analysis?
Similar to the last, this is just another standard Windows event that we often see when a computer is either powered on or logged onto. So the time of this, if you want to compare it to the slide before, is likely within milliseconds. A lot of things happen when we start our computers that go on in the background. The previous slide was the user logging into their account. This is just reflective of the computer probably almost immediately joining the Wi-Fi account for in this case, what I know to be the Banfield home.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, he's referenced the previous slide. I'm going to put it back to the previous slide.
129 is an evidence, so you can go back to 129.
So that's the previous slide.
Yeah.
Can you just highlight what it is you were talking about in terms of the timing?
Yeah, so if we look at the created date time.
Judge, the Commonwealth will stipulate that they show the same time.
Okay, stipulation that it shows the same time. Thank you. So is there anything additional that you need to testify to about that slide?
No.
Do you see a slide before you?
I do.
Okay. Your Honor, that would be identified as Defense Exhibit 131.
All right. I'm just making sure we didn't see it yesterday. I'm not sure we did. So we'll make it 131.
I don't think we did.
Okay, 131.
They have.
Sir, do you see that?
I do.
Okay. And if you could just describe, was this something that you utilized in your forensic analysis of this case?
Yeah, I think there are other images that are associated with this that will come up in progressive clicks, but this is using artifacts from the laptop that I examined, or the portable case that I was using to examine artifacts from within the laptop. This is a sort of sequencing of events in chronological order, and that's, I think as I described before, something we do looking backward in time and following events on a device might help inform who was using the computer, and certainly the time and date and what they might have been doing.
Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit number 131.
Any objection?
No.
131 evidence.
If you could please publish that to the jury.
Let's see.
Sir, can you just explain? They didn't have that on the screen when you were.
Sure, these are the artifacts that I located on Ms. Banfield's laptop.
Let's
and
see.
it shows that shortly after the computer was logged on and joined the Wi-Fi, that she opened a browser and navigated to or viewed a Google website and her email.
Judge,
inbox.
objection calls for speculation. He doesn't know who it was that looked at anything. He can tell us what the computer did.
All right, I'll sustain objection.
The person whoever was using the computer opened a Google website and Google inbox related to Ms. Banfield.
And sir, what's the significance of the email, the Gmail?
Hang on.
Calls for speculation. He doesn't know who it was.
Okay, so on the 17th at 9:59, went on to Gmail account.
That looked at anything. He can tell us what the computer did.
All right, I'll sustain objection.
The person whoever was using the computer opened a Google website and Google inbox related to Ms. Banfield.
And sir, what's the significance of the email, the Gmail account that's identified in the second line there versus other Gmail accounts?
So This one became known to me through my review of all of the evidence in the case as Ms. Banfield's sort of go-to email account. This is not the alleged suspect email account that we talked about as being formed on January 9th.
And what was the alleged suspect Gmail account that you referred to?
That was the one that was used to then set up the Fetlife account in Telegram as the account. The alleged suspect Gmail account was the one that received communication from Fetlife, both the Fetlife.
Okay. Okay, hang on.
Server Fetlife account
it back.
in Telegram is the
The alleged suspect Gmail account that you referred to.
that was the one that was used to then set up the Fetlife account in Telegram as the account. The alleged suspect Gmail account was the one that received communication from Fetlife, both the Fetlife service provider and from users wanting to message through that account.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to show you this next slide.
Okay, so I'm writing all this down to try to get a timeline. I'm not really sure, but based upon this, at 9:59, somebody logged into her RN account. Her RN account is not the account that was the Gmail account that was created to make the Fetlife. But so on January 9th, a Gmail account was made. I don't know what the name of that is because I don't have it and it's not coming to me, and maybe we'll get a clarification here. A Gmail account was made, and then they said on the 17th, the Fetlife was created. Maybe we'll get to it. It'd be nice if they just did it and put in a nice little bow for
see
us
that?
and
I
did
do.
it.
Your Honor, I move that in as Commonwealth's Defense Exhibit 132.
All right, any objections to 132?
No objection.
All right, and evidence can publish.
And so tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what this is.
So again, chronologically, this is, it looks like just under a minute later, whoever was using this computer was now able to see the draft email box within their Gmail account, Ms. Banfield's Gmail account, also the sent email box or account messages from Ms. Banfield's account.
And where are the sent emails that you're referencing?
It's the now fourth line down. You can see on the title of the slide, also on the left-hand side for the URL, that's just showing that the sent mail box or tab was open at this time.
Okay, and the draft mails are the one, well, you tell me. I'm not going
Yes, the draft is right above it. Usually parenthetically, when there's a number there, for us email users, that reflects the unread messages in the respective accounts.
Your Honor, can I move that into evidence?
That's in evidence.
Okay. Sir, do you see this new slide, which is incorporating the old slide?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what's the significance of that? And then if you identify it, then I'm going to move it into evidence. So just identify that as slide, and Your Honor, I'd identify it as Defense Exhibit 132,
133.
133.
Any objection to 133?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Again, just chronologically, this is more activity shifting away from one service provider to another, from Gmail to Facebook in less than a minute.
And the timing is in the
Excuse me.
second column?
It is. So this would be January 17th at 10:01 and 10 seconds p.m.
Sir, I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Okay, so Facebook was looked at 10 p.m. Okay.
This will be identified as Defense Exhibit 134.
Any objection to 134?
Sorry, Judge Van, just have a second. Judge, I understand that the slides are just successive.
The only new thing is the artifact information.
Right, we're just adding one item at a time.
Is
Oh, okay,
No
sure,
objection.
no objection.
134.
Sir, as Ms. Sand said, this is a progression of items, and there's a new portion. Can you describe what that is?
Yeah, so this is artifact information related to the login of now the alleged suspect Gmail account. So we can see down at the bottom of the highlighted section, this is CBRN 920 at Gmail. That's different from the
Okay, So at 10:03, okay, the CBRN 920 at Gmail is logged in at 10:03. Okay. On the 17th.
email that we see at the top of the screen for C. Banfield. So this is significant because now, again, we're talking about a login to the account that's central to this investigation. So whoever was using the computer at this time at 10:03 and 4 seconds was clearly aware of the account and had the credentials because this is a successful login.
Sir, do you see that slide, the new slide?
I do.
Okay, and there's, as said before, there's one additional piece of evidence there. Is this something that you created and something that you relied upon?
It is.
Okay, Your Honor, I move that in as Defense Exhibit 135.
Objection.
No.
135.
Sir, if you can explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the significance of this in terms of digital forensic analysis.
So the content to me is not as informative necessarily as the sequencing. So we had Facebook at 10:01. If we look just above the Google login we just discussed, or the Gmail login we just discussed, we have the Gmail login at 10:03, and now we're back in Facebook at 10:03 and 35 seconds. The significance of the highlighted portion in the last artifact, or the newer one that we're reviewing, is that we're looking at a media attachment within Facebook. Obviously, for any of us who use it, there's a lot of different things we can look at, but in this particular one, we were looking at a media attachment.
Sir, if you could look at the next slide, which will be identified as Defense Exhibit 136.
Hang on. So he's looking at
Particular one, we were
Messenger.
looking at a media attachment at 10:03 and 35 seconds.
Yes.
The significance of the highlighted portion in the last artifact, or the newer one that we're reviewing, is that we're looking at
Okay.
a media attachment within Facebook. Obviously, for any of us who use it, there's a lot of different things we can look at, but in this particular one, we were looking at a media attachment.
Sir, if you could look at the next slide, which will be identified as Defense Exhibit 136. Please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this something that you relied on in your digital forensic analysis?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I move that in as
Any objection?
Defense Exhibit 136.
136 evidence.
Go ahead, sir. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what this significance of this in the line of messages?
Yeah, so as we might imagine, as we do things on our computers, things happen in rapid fashion. And when we slow down and sort of look at what's happening on the back end and visualize it that way, it seems to make sense. So just before this, at 10:03 and 35 seconds, we were looking at a media attachment, what I believe is a photo on Facebook. And then 5 seconds later, at 10:03 and 40 seconds, we have a download of a photo.
Okay. 10:03. They're looking at a photo. What photo is that? And then download photo.
In the Chrome browser that was being used at the time. And this is a download to the computer.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to actually identify as Defense Exhibit 137. Can you look at that, sir?
Yes, I can.
And is this something that you analyzed and created as a result of your digital forensic analysis?
It is.
Your Honor, I move that in as Defense Exhibit 137.
Any objection? Nope. 137 evidence.
Sir, can you give some context, or can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you obtained this and what the significance of it is?
Sure. So again, each of these is building on the previous artifact, but so at 10:03:40, we had the photo downloaded to the computer. At 10:04 and 23 seconds, so under a minute later, that same photo is emailed as an attachment from the alleged suspect Gmail account to the alleged suspect Gmail account. And the email attachment, if we look at the file,
Why is Why is the photo that's on Facebook downloaded and then emailed to this Gmail account? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so downloaded photo off Messenger, which apparently she sent to Brendan. Downloaded photo off Messenger was emailed to Fetlife email. The second email, I'm trying to think of the word I want to use to that.
Something
Okay.
on the very bottom that ends in 1973_n.jpg. We can see that that's the same file that was downloaded from Facebook 2 lines above it at 10:03 and 40 seconds.
And
Okay.
Sir,
So I have a problem with this. Okay. You took a picture of you on your phone, right? You have it on your phone. If you're going to go ahead and you created this Fetlife account, right? You can just plug your phone in and go that way. Or you use your phone and just go directly that way. Why would you go sort of this huge end round to get this photo up there? That doesn't make sense to me.
identified as Defense Exhibit 138.
But we'll go along for the ride.
Is this highlighting what you just said?
It is. This is just drawing attention to the fact that we're correlating now the same photo. And this is one of the things we do in digital forensics. We can follow an artifact around as it goes, and that can be informative.
Your Honor, can I move that in as Defense Exhibit 138?
Let me check.
No.
All right, 138.
Why is she laughing?
The ladies and gentlemen just see that. Do you want to direct them as to what the change is in this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is just the annotation I described, just showing that these two artifacts are linked. The download,
Sorry.
it's gone.
I-
There it is.
I think-
The download a minute or so before the email.
Okay, thank you. Sir, I'm going to have you look at the next slide, which will be identified as Defense Exhibit 139. What is that?
These are WhatsApp messages from Ms. Banfield's cell phone.
Okay, and what, if anything, how did you how did you get these digital forensic artifacts?
From the review of the data provided from the portable case related to Ms. Banfield's cell phone.
And Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit 139.
Any objection?
No.
139?
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the significance of this communication? And am I correct? This is all on January 17th?
This is on January 17th, yes.
Okay.
So I think as Detective Miller said rather well, context matters, context is helpful. So we don't, to help determine user attribution, which is always the big question for us in the digital forensics field, we don't just look at one device, we look at everything we possibly can to inform what a person was, where a person was. If someone's device is being used by someone other than the owner, if they're physically removed from it, we can draw that conclusion. So I was simply looking at Ms. Banfield's phone at the same time frame that I was looking at her laptop, so we can see the date is January 17th, and the timing is right around the same time that we were looking at from the computer a moment ago, right around the early 10 o'clock hour.
Sir, I'm going to move to the next slide and have you take a look at that. Can you identify that slide?
I can.
And just to be careful here, is the left side of the slide what was on the previous slide, 139? Were those the communications that you were talking about on the previous slide?
Yeah, so
Do you want me to go back so you can see it?
no, I have them both.
Okay.
Would you like me to describe this?
If you could describe it.
Yeah, so one of the things that the forensic software allows us to do is both look at the artifact in sort of a raw form that might be useful for us, but it also allows us to visualize a conversation just like we would on our devices. So we'd have, sort of a comment bubble or chat bubble on the right and the left as we talk with somebody.
Okay.
So it's just a visual representation of the same data.
And so without getting into the conversations, were you able to determine that a conversation took place?
Yes,
Okay. And were you able to determine who the conversation was between?
yes.
Okay.
And who is it?
Your Honor, I'm not going to present
It's
that.
just ID is 140, that's fine.
140, okay.
Is this a good time for a break, Mr. Carroll?
It'll be fine, Judge.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead and take our 15-minute recess at this point, please.
Okay. Still not 100% sure. Still not 100% sure about all of this. They're going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. So the other problem that I kind of have with all of this, and I'm trying to figure it out, is I wish I knew the WhatsApp and who was messaging. I know that the nanny and her used WhatsApp to message each other. So is that what's going on there? Or they used Telegraph. Sorry, let me back up. Telegraph was used as a communication tool between the user who was using the Fetlife account, and then they moved it over to actually talk on Telegraph. If by chance Brendan and Juliana were using Christine's laptop to do these things without Christine's knowledge, right? Christine didn't know, like the Gmail notifications, how did they hide that? If WhatsApp, they're using WhatsApp as well to communicate to these other people, I'm talking about if Juliana and Brendan are the ones manipulating her computer, how did the notifications? I guess you could turn notifications off. Okay. Not trying to teach you how to crime better, but I'm just trying to think of like the process. So we're gonna pause here. We'll come back. Stay tuned. All right, we are back from break. Let's get into it.
I'm going to have you look at the next slide, and if you can just identify it. Can you see that on your screen?
I can.
And is that something that you utilized in your digital forensic analysis?
It is.
Your Honor, move that in as exhibit number 141.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
141.
Sir, can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what's the significance of this artifact?
Sure. This ties into the prior slide and artifacts that we reviewed, or the ones from the laptop 2 slides prior. Again, we're just going chronologically and looking at what the user of this device was engaged in. Of note, and it might be helpful to go back 2 slides to the previous blue one. We're seeing a bouncing between applications and between accounts. That's helpful for me in this case, at least, because part of the information that I was aware of from witness interviews or co-defendant interviews is that that I was aware of from.
Okay, so 10:05. Monthly contact. Cultural care. Au pair. Okay. And then this is going back to her RN account. Okay.
Witness interviews or co-defendant interviews is that when this device, which was the subject of alleged misattribution, removal, and use by another party or parties, that when the laptop was in that possession, it was just, we were just using the account, or it was directed account usage. Here we're seeing a shift back and forth. So we started with Gmail at the beginning of this 2 slides ago. And then we went to Facebook, and then we had a download, and then we saw the alleged suspect email account in use. Then, and now here at 10:05, so this is all within a 5-minute window, we're back into Ms. Banfield's sort of the non-suspect account, so just her personal email account.
Okay.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at the next slide, which is what you just described to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Your Honor, that would be exhibit number 142.
Any objection?
No, 142.
Sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what's the significance of the additional line that's down on the bottom of this slide?
Yeah, it's merely just a continuation. The first line of this demonstrative or sheet of the demonstrative is at 10:05 at 17 seconds, and that's looking at a particular email. So that's where we see on the second and third lines, respectively, sent mail. That's the sent mail box and the inbox with a lot of unread messages. The first line is an actual specific message.
Sir, I'm going to have you look at the next slide, which will be identified as Exhibit 143. Do you recognize that slide?
I do.
Do you recognize the additional line?
I do.
Okay. Your Honor, move that in as Exhibit 143.
Any objection?
No, thank you.
143.
Sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the significance of this artifact?
right.
Sure. So this is a
Let's
Google
again-
search for Fetlife, which obviously is important in this case. Of note is the timing. Again, looking at what's occurring right before this.
Okay,
So-
okay. Now we're cooking with gas because I said, what time? Like you're searching, like you don't all of a sudden. Sorry. All right. You don't all of a sudden like wake up and be like, I'm gonna go on to a fetish site. Of course, I mean, I don't even know Fetlife. Google search for Fetlife. Okay. Oh,
Wait,
sorry.
now we have a Google search for Fetlife. So we've moved the user of this device at this time.
Okay, sorry. I
Sir, can
when I
Search
clicked on
what's
it.
occurring right before this. So at 10:05, 10:06, 10:07, we have activity within Ms. Banfield's email account.
What
And here
time?
at 10:07, basically 10:08,
so.
now we have a Google search for Fetlife. So we've moved the user of this device at
Fetlife,
this time
Google search.
has moved from one to the other.
At
Your
what
Honor, I'm going to
time?
move on to the next slide.
No, keep going. 10:07. Okay, hang on. 10:07. Fetlife Google search. Okay.
Sir, can you identify what will be marked as Exhibit 144?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
And Your Honor, move that into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
144.
Sir, can you please explain that additional line and how it relates to the ones that you've already discussed?
Sure. So this is typically after a Google search and relatable, the search results come in and very frequently users will click on a link. So on the line, the third line down, we have a search for Fetlife, and then immediately after, within under 30 seconds, we have a visit to the Fetlife site.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide,
All right.
and this will be identified as Exhibit 145. Sir, is that an artifact that you utilized in creating this slide?
It is.
Okay. Your Honor, move that in as Exhibit
Any
145.
objection?
No objection.
145.
Sir, please explain the significance of this additional artifact to what you've already described for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
So this is a second login to the alleged suspect email account, the CBRN 920 Gmail account at 10:12 p.m. My experience is you cannot be logged into two Gmail accounts at once on the same device. So looking up to the top row.
Okay, so you can't be logged into two Gmail accounts at same time. I suppose you could if you were in two different browsers, but I that's neither here nor there. Okay, so now we're log in. And this is at what time? At 10:12. Okay.
Row of this slide, we're into Ms. Banfield's sort of personal email account. So at that point, this computer is logged into the C Banfield RN account, and now we're seeing a relog in back to the CBRN 920 account.
And is there any way to know what device that is?
That was from this laptop, from Ms. Banfield's Lenovo laptop.
Your Honor, I'm going to move on to the next slide.
All right.
And that will be identified as Exhibit 146.
Still not convinced.
Sir, is this an artifact, or is this a slide that you created based upon your digital forensics analysis?
It is.
And Your Honor, I move that in
Does
as
it create
Defense
also-
Exhibit 146.
Any objection?
No.
146.
So moving on, sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the significance of the data that's before them?
This is from Ms. Banfield's mobile device. This is a little bit later in the 10 o'clock hour, from 10:43 to 10:40.
Okay, so now we're on mobile device. Okay, 10:43. Lululemon. Gift ideas. So still Lululemon. Lululemon, gift ideas, gift ideas. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Gift ideas, Lululemon. Okay, until 10:46.
46 PM. And these are just website visits that were performed using her mobile device at the time.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide,
Okay,
and this will be identified.
I'm a little confused. Because if she's on her laptop, why isn't she searching this on her laptop versus her phone? But at 10:12, we're on our computer logged into this fetish website. But at 10:43 through 10:46, we're on our phone looking up Lululemon. Now, don't get me wrong. How many times are you on your phone and your computer at the same time? Everybody does it.
Identified as Exhibit 147. Sir, do you recognize that artifact?
I do.
And is that something that you reviewed in preparing this slide?
It is.
Can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what's the significance of this? Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I moved that in.
Any objection?
No.
I think she said no.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry, no.
Okay, sorry. 147 evidence, sorry.
Okay, now it's on display, so if you could please explain that to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah, this is simply opening the photo app on the Windows laptop.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
All right.
No, go back. Fudge. Okay. Shoot. Sorry.
Jury, what's the significance? Now it's on display, so if you, Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
Okay. Photo app? I don't know what that is. Photo app on computer. Is it the photos window? Photos. Okay. It's done at 10:46. Okay. All right.
Slide,
All right.
identified as 148.
Any objection to 148?
No.
148 in evidence.
Sir, explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the artifacts are and how they're significant.
So the user of this device at this time, using the Photos app, edited the photo we saw back at the beginning of these slides. So if you remember the photo we saw,
Okay. Edited the bathing suit photo. Okay.
that was downloaded from Facebook to the device, ended in 1973_N. And now we see at 10:47 PM, a new photo ending in 1973_N edit.jpg has now.
Okay, so this answers the question. Remember I said, if you're going to use this photo, why don't you just use it from your phone? You can also edit that photo in your phone. Like if you just want to like take out where, crop it, right? Why did she then send it to her computer to crop it?
Been used by the Photos app on this on Christine's laptop.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next
All right.
exhibit. Sir, do you recognize this exhibit?
But I do. It's just a call out for.
Okay, it'll be identified as Exhibit 148.
149.
149. I
Any
apologize.
objection to 149?
Well, he didn't make the circle himself, but I don't object.
Okay, 149 in evidence.
And I'm sorry, if you could. the jury needs to see that.
Oh, that was
Yeah, that-
snark. That was shade snark. Remember when Iris Daily Graf was testifying and she had photos with like circles and stuff on it that they had already done, and the defense objected, and so then they couldn't put the photos in with the pre-circles, so she had to redo the circles right there live in court. This is a snark to that. I didn't see him do the circles, but I'll let it go.
The circle is just a call out to what I described, just taking note of the file name.
I'm going to move to the next slide. This will be
And just-
identified as,
So just remember, if you remember when I forget what her name was, but the defense attorney for Johnny Depp was cross-examining Amber Heard, and she said something about being snarky. You don't have to be snarky, or was that snarky? So snark is coming back in the courtroom, bringing snark back. Oop, did I?
so can you,
Yeah, it's just a further call out to the tail end, the 1973_NAD@JPG.
and when you say call out, what your explanation was?
Yeah, just drawing attention to the, significant part of the file name.
All right, it was
So let's move
edited.
to
We
the
got
next
it.
slide.
Move on.
Sir, do you see the slide in front of you?
I do.
Okay,
Slides, I
and
think that
this will be
says-
identified as Exhibit 151.
151, any objection to 151?
Judge, if you could lay foundation for how this slide was created.
All right.
Sir, what is it that you examined in order to create this slide? Can you explain?
Sure. I reviewed the responsive documents provided by Fetlife to create this. I took screen grabs or snippets of those documents, which are rather voluminous, and I consolidated for me, what the salient points were into this slide.
And this is specifically related to this slide, correct? I'm sorry, to the topic of this slide.
Yes, this is the important information from the Fetlife documents for this discussion related to this slide, yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I move that in as Commonwealth or Defense Exhibit 151.
Any objection?
Judge, I do. Unfortunately, it's out of context, and I think best evidence would require the full document be used.
Do you have the full document?
Judge, I believe that's part of the stipulations that were put in relating to the Fetlife documents.
Correct. And we've admitted the full document into evidence. I think that is the document that should be used.
I don't have it personally right now, Judge.
All right.
We can move on from
You can supplement
151.
with the full document, then we can
Yes.
complete it. Okay.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to what will be identified as number 152. Sir, do you recognize this slide?
I do.
Okay, and I think there's been an objection relating to the full document, but what's the additional information that is on this document?
It's the addition of a photograph.
Okay, and what's the origin of that photograph?
Objection, Judge. Asked and answered. We've already talked about this photograph. It's been admitted into evidence.
Okay. Your Honor, once we get the full
Okay.
document, then I'll
Sure.
ask for it to be admitted. I'm going to go on to the next slide, Judge.
Okay.
Sir, can you identify the artifacts that were used to make up this slide?
Yes, I can.
Okay, and where did they come from, and what's the significance of them for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
These came from Ms. Banfield's cell phone. They are web searches.
If I may just interrupt for a second, Your Honor, we move this in as Defense Exhibit number
Any
153.
objection to 153?
No objection.
153?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
These are web searches or website visits from Ms. Banfield's cell phone from January 17th from 10:49 through 11:29 p.m. They're informative in that the 10:49 artifact at the top was about a minute after the Fetlife account was created. So for timing, it's informative. For the middle column, we can see what the
Okay, move out of the way. Okay, so we move from Lululemon at 10:51. Okay, so this is okay. Okay, her phone. Uh, 10:15, 12-year-old late. Okay. A video. Okay. Man dies after hospital ignores. Still 10:51. 10:53. Okay, say 10:53. All right. Back to the 12-year-old getting. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. Wife of William Daniels. Wife of Boy Meets World. Okay. 1054. What's on tour? A guide to currently running something. Broadway. Okay. Broadway at 1056. All right, I gotta pause again. Apparently, my headphones are yakking at me, even though I charged them.
For the middle column, we can see what the website was, or what was the website that was visited, what the content was. So that can be informative for a digital forensic examiner in helping determine potential attribution based on the content. So is it content related to one person over another? Is it related to, in this case, a catfishing theme?
Okay, so now she's looking at Broadway. We're at 1057. 1057, Broadway tickets. Frozen until like 11 p.m. And this is on her phone. Okay.
Is it related to, or is it what we might expect from a user's normal activity? It's also, I'm sorry if I can add one.
No, please.
Timing also is informative.
Okay. I don't know if I can see this. Move out of the way. Okay. To like 11. It might look like until 11:24. Teaches something. I can't read it. It's down here. I can't read it.
Informative, obviously, if somebody's device is in use and we can assign attribution, then it shows that they're awake and in possession of their device. And obviously that was, for me, that was something important for this investigation to take note of.
Now, in
Okay, she says that the person was awake, obviously. And using the device. But I still have issue with, we don't know who's using this.
if just to deviate for a moment from that, in digital forensic analysis, what, if anything, do you do to try to determine a pattern of life regarding the use of devices?
Yeah, I can typically just looking at use over time, what's normal for a user. I've done that with, mobile device tracking, cell phone tracking when I was in law enforcement. You can infer patterns from the data from use over time on Ms. Banfield's computer. Based on
Teachers are canceling 90s classic the rainbow fish. Okay. So 11:29 rainbow fish.
one of the statements the co-defendant made during her interviews, and I believe again a testimony, was that she dropped her backpack by the door and didn't touch her laptop after that. I looked backwards for about a year in time of her user activity, and she was frequently using her laptop well into the evening from 10.
Judge, objection is to speculation. He can tell us what the devices were doing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If you could just explain what you were explaining as to what the devices were doing at what period of times.
Yeah.
In terms of the pattern that
Yeah.
you just described.
Sure. Ms. Banfield's device had a history of activity. Devices have a history of activity well into the evening for an extended period of time, both
Was
before.
Okay. History of using devices well into the evening.
Time frame that was consistent during that period of a year that you went back?
It was frequently between 10 or 11 p.m. and 1 or 2 a.m.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
Well, that's interesting to know.
Sir, do you see that slide?
I do.
Is that a slide that you created?
It is.
And was it based on your analysis of digital forensics?
It is.
Your Honor, I'm going to identify this as 154.
Any objection to 154?
No.
Or 154 in evidence?
Sir, please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the significance of these artifacts are.
So here we have another, the date is still January 17th. The time is from 11:32 through 11:35. These are from Ms. Banfield's mobile device. We have a couple of website visits on the top and the bottom, and in between we have a number of email email inbox visits with a Google.
Okay, so still the cell phone. Continued. 11:32. Clever woman, something. Her Gmail, her RN Gmail. Until 11:32. Then she Googled something. Google. And then back to her Gmail. And then 11:35, something about Kristen Chenoweth. Regrets not suing over good wife. Okay.
A couple of Googles in between. Of note here towards the right, the second to last column on the right,
Good wife injury.
the digital forensic software we use can tell us whether a device was local or synced, among other sources. So we can see where we see local, it means in this case, the two local artifacts were website visits on this device itself. The intervening artifacts that are labeled as synced tell us that those could have come from a secondary device and are being replicated here as a result of Google's ability to sync accounts. If you're logged into your account on more than one device, what you do on one might appear on the other.
Now, the January 17th, what was the significance of January 17th again?
The Fetlife was created around 10:48 p.m.
Okay, and so the timelines of all of these slides that.
Okay, Fetlife was created around 10:48. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go.
The jury has seen are significant in terms of this setup.
Objection, counsel's testifying.
What's the significance of it relating to the times?
Well, we've just walked through what was occurring on Ms. Banfield's laptop and her phone in the 45 minutes or so before, through the 45 minutes or so after. And recalling the first slides we saw Windows log on to the laptop. So we've seen, the activity that evening began around 10 o'clock when we first started running through these.
And are you, based upon the analysis that you did during this slideshow presentation, are you able to opine as to, within the degrees of digital forensic analysis, your opinions as to what was going on January 17th?
I am.
Can you provide that opinion?
So again, revisiting the originating slides, we saw a logon with Ms. Banfield's security identifier to her profile, at least on her laptop, around 10 o'clock, joining the Wi-Fi, which our computers do automatically. Immediately, we went into her email account. The user of the device went into her email account, and then we started seeing other activity. We saw the alleged suspect Gmail account be logged into, and then we were back into Ms. Banfield's Facebook account where we viewed an image, a picture, a digital image. That image was then downloaded, and these are all happening within either seconds or a minute. That downloaded image was brought to the device early in the 10 o'clock hour, I think around 10:05, and then we saw, 30 or 40 minutes later, the Photos app opened up, an image edited, and that image would ultimately be uploaded to the Fetlife account during the account creation. All the while on Ms. Banfield's phone, there appears to be certainly user activity. As Detective Miller said, context is hard, and we might need other corroborative data to see who was conducting that, but it's certainly unrelated. I think the website visit about Kristen Chenoweth has nothing to do with the scheme here at hand. So we can infer, and we do, and this is just one event in a timeline of many significant events, but we can draw inferences based on the totality before, after, during, and the content of who might have been operating. What I didn't see was a gap in time where a device that appears to be going in and out of accounts related to the scheme and not related to the scheme was exchange hands, like misappropriated. I didn't see any gaps of time where where somebody might be using a device and then go to the bathroom and the device would be taken potentially somewhere else in a house used by somebody else and brought back. I didn't see gaps here for this particular event where that either occurred or even could.
Objection calls for speculation.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
Totally
Based upon
speculating.
the analysis, in terms of the state.
Okay, I don't agree with 100% of what he's saying. Who's to say, and I'm just speculating, who's to say that while they were manipulating her computer, that he or Juliana sitting next to him on the phone. Now, I have to admit, that is like the most thought out plan if that were the case, right? Okay, so I'm going to be on her computer and you be on the phone and you look up these things on her phone, and then I'm going to be over here on her phone, and then we'll go back and forth, and make sure you look at the Gmail. I mean, that's a very well thought out plan if that's what they did. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they had her laptop and she had the phone and she was in bed on the phone, right? Upstairs in her room. But I wonder if can you be on your laptop on your Gmail account and then your phone on your Gmail account? I don't know the answer to that. I'm assuming the answer is yes. I think that you can. Because I can sit here and be on my Hotmail account and my Hotmail is in front of me on. Yeah, you totally can. But I thought that they said that they needed her phone to set up the Fetlife account because they had to get the code. But I don't see where it's registered on the phone that Fetlife account. Well, that maybe because they couldn't show it in court. So maybe they'll go back to that.
Statements that you're making, what are your conclusions?
I didn't see anything here that indicated loss of control of the device. I'm not able to say who was in control of the device for the entirety of this period, but I did see inconsistencies in that the usage was not confined just to the accounts related to this investigation. In this case, that would be the suspect alleged Gmail account and the Fetlife account. So interspersed with that, I saw personal account usage with Ms. Banfield's accounts.
All right, thank you. Mr. Klitsky?
Still is no nail in the coffin. Still no, case closed. We didn't solve any crimes. We're still at ground zero here.
In terms, what's the topic that we're dealing with in terms of this particular piece of evidence?
So this is a snippet of a video interview with Ms. Magalhaes. I believe in this particular clip, she's answering a question about the Telegram account creation and the associated activity. I think the deleting of the SMS code that was used to stand up the Telegram account.
Okay, this is okay. SMS code.
Your Honor, I'd
Telegram.
identify this as defense 155 and move this into evidence.
Objection, hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain as to hearsay.
Sir, do you see the slide that's before you?
I do.
And what, if anything, what does this say? Or what, I should say, what's the significance of this in your digital forensic analysis?
So this was recovered from Ms. Banfield's cell phone, and it is the Telegram 2FA code, I think the two-factor authentication code that was described in testimony.
Okay, and Your Honor, I would.
Okay. Trying to figure out why it's hearsay. Okay, let's see if we can get to it.
I've identified it as 155,
156.
156. I'd move that into evidence, Your
Any
Honor.
objection to 156?
No, Judge.
All right, 156 in evidence.
Okay.
Oh, it must be
Um,
something else.
And sir, what's the significance of this particular artifact with regard to the issue of the Telegram setup?
So the relevance here, I think, is corroborative information. Lieutenant Giacchio spoke about
Okay,
that yesterday, and
okay. Yep. Okay, February 19th. Oh boy. February 19th, 23. Okay, at 2:07:54 a.m. Okay. Telegram code. SMS. All right.
it's important to discern the veracity of witness or co-defendant statements or testimony. This artifact was recovered from Ms. Banfield's mobile device. From my understanding of the investigative materials provided to me, this had been deleted by Mr. Banfield. It wasn't deleted; it was still there. I understand.
Objection as to the mischaracterization of previous testimony.
You want to approach this?
Okay. So somebody alluded to the fact that they believe Mr. Banfield had deleted this, but it wasn't deleted. So we'll see if they can clarify that. They need to clarify that.
Starting. Can you open the document up?
This, going back to this artifact, this was related to, I think you said, the Telegram setup and the two-factor authentication?
Correct.
Okay, and what's the significance of that in the context of the Telegram setup?
That is still present on Ms. Banfield's phone.
Okay. Is that significant that that would be on her phone?
To me, it is.
Okay, and in what way is that significant that the notice of a two-factor authentication?
The notice itself, not much. Its continued existence is of note because I find it inconsistent with the theory of the case.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to move on to, and I'm sorry, 157.
Understand.
And sir, can you identify these artifacts? And is this a slide that you created?
I can, and it is.
And it's based upon your digital forensic analysis?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I move that in as.
Any objection?
No.
Okay, 157.
Okay, so but what? All right, hang
Sir,
on,
can
hang
you
on.
please explain?
Okay. So we talked about the activity for the Fetlife account, right? We went over the Fetlife account was created on the 17th. So on the 17th, we went all through all the stuff about what was done on the 17th and who manipulated what. We don't know, but we do know that a lot of activity was happening on the 17th, and that was when the Fetlife was created. But on February 19th, just days prior to this huge incident, the Telegram message was sent. Do we have any, I may be preempting, do we have any activity about that and potential who was doing that?
Explain that to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
We'll see.
So these are, I believe, the 4 most recent text messages from Ms. Banfield's device over this time period. So from late evening or night of February 18th, 2023 at around 10 p.m.
Okay, February 18th. Okay, so now we're on 2/18/23. Okay, remember the Fetlife was created on the 9th, or sorry, Telegram was created on the next day, the 19th. Okay. Okay, any idea what time, evening and night differential? Oh, are these the Telegram messages? Ooh, but no, so, okay. Good, this one's the 18th. Any idea what time, evening, night? Okay, I'm still not sure. Okay.
Through the morning of the 19th at around 10 a.m. So at 9:58 p.m. on the 18th, we have just a message exchange with who I assume is a coworker based on a contact name. But at 2:19, so after
But now how can we see this message even though, isn't that hearsay? Brad. Okay. SMS messages. Okay.
midnight at 1:37 and again at 2:07, we have two FA codes, one of which is the Telegram code we just looked at on the prior slide.
Okay, so at 2:19 at 1:37 a.m. Then we have one at 2:07 a.m. And then at 10:05 a.m. Okay.
But the one before that is a signal verification 2FA code. A signal was not used in as part of this alleged scheme, but to me it's informative that other secure messaging apps were experimented. At least it appears the user of this device experimented with others. The message on the morning of the 19th, again with another coworker, is there only to show sort of bookend activity. The idea that because the two FA messages from the early morning of the 19th were not deleted, they would be readily viewable by the user of the account the following morning. And so when normal sort of messaging activity resumed, the idea that to me as a digital forensic examiner, the two FA codes were not
Hang on.
hidden or
Okay. So this one says your signal verification is this. This one is your Telegram code. And then this is something about Instagram. Okay.
alleged scheme.
Then at 10:05, something about Nicole. Instagram. Okay. And I think why he's like putting these together and showing he's saying that these weren't deleted and that she could potentially see them. I'll go back.
But midnight at 1:37 and again at 2:07, we have two FA codes, one of which is the Telegram code we just looked at on the prior slide. But the one before that is a signal verification 2FA code. A signal was not used in as part of this alleged scheme, but to me it's informative that other secure messaging apps were experimented. At least it appears the user of this device experimented with others. The message on the morning of the 19th, again with another coworker, is there only to show sort of bookend activity. The idea that because the two FA messages from the early morning of the 19th were not deleted, they would be readily viewable by the user of the account the following morning. And so when normal sort of messaging activity resumed, the idea that to me as a digital forensic examiner, the two FA codes were not hidden or unseen by the user of this device.
And so just
Okay. Before she goes into that, hang on. So they were trying to use two different apps to message people. One is Signal, and so they set up a Signal account somehow. I don't know where that is set up, and then Telegram. Okay, we're going to back it up just this minute.
Question calls for speculation.
To me as a digital forensic examiner, the two FA codes were not hidden or unseen by the user of this device.
And so just
Objection calls for speculation. He can't testify as to what someone saw or not.
All right.
Right.
Staying us to the last part there.
Right.
in terms of, you said 2FA, in the event that somebody doesn't know what that is, describe what two-factor authentication is.
Yeah, two-factor authentication, 2FA, is a number of service providers just require device possession. It's a way for them to confirm that you're holding and using and have authority in theory to use the device that you're registering. So it prevents us from signing each other up for a bunch of accounts. So that's why in this case, Signal and Telegram require you to be in possession of the phone that you're asking them to permit your use on their servers.
And in a situation or in a case like this with the allegations, would a two-factor authentication code's existence,
Objection leading.
Right.
what if any significance would that hold in a case such as this?
For me, based on my experience, both as an investigator and digital forensic examiner, any misattribution scheme to include catfishing, the name, misattribution is important. You want to hide your tracks. The idea is that the target of your efforts is unaware that they are being targeted, and you're exerting effort, on that plan. So if you leave evidence behind, if you leave something that
Judge, objection. This is speculative.
Right.
He's speaking about what people do in catfishing. I don't think he is speaking to what happened in this case, and I don't believe that
Overruled.
Mm.
So the idea is to hide the hand, right? If somebody sees that their device or devices were tampered with, or there's usage that's not their own, they may become suspicious. They might question it. It could certainly raise a red flag. So traditionally, in my experience, one would remove all traces of their activity, if in fact it is misattribution.
Okay, hang on. Have you ever gotten something suspicious on your phone? You got a text message from someone that typed in the wrong number, or sometimes you get a code and you're like, I didn't do this. I didn't get a code. And sometimes you mention it to your spouse or your significant other or somebody, be like, hey, this happened, sometimes our accounts are connected and, hey, did you get the code? Can I have the code? Blah, 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 blah. So maybe I'm speculating. Maybe she woke up and she saw the codes and she's like, hey, what's going on? And he explained it away. Remember, he is a federal IRS agent, right? So he knows schemes and plans and stuff. So he maybe just explained it away to her.
Here, I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Okay.
Or we're not 100% sure. Maybe it was deleted so that she couldn't see it, but it still was on the phone. Maybe you pulled it up in the data.
And Your Honor, I would identify this as Defense Exhibit
Still don't know
158.
who's doing what.
Any objection to 158?
No.
158 evidence.
Sir, do you see that slide?
I do.
And can you explain the significance of this analysis and this slide to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
These are unrelated, but I felt informative activity from Ms. Banfield's phone, again, from the day before and the day after. These are other user verification codes or 2FA codes for Microsoft and PayPal, things not related to the scheme. But they tell me that the user of this device was familiar with the codes, knew what they stood for.
Okay, so we're on 218 at 9:15. And okay, Microsoft code. Okay. Then at 1:25, we get a PayPal code. And then at 1:46, a PayPal code. Oh, wait, those are 219. Sorry. Those are at 219. Okay.
And was unlikely to ignore a message that
objection
contained.
calls for speculation.
Right.
Sustain the last part, speculation.
Okay, sir, can you just explain that in a way that doesn't cause you to speculate?
Did she purchase something off of PayPal? I want to know.
I mean, for me, being aware of or familiar with how a certain item works would cause me not to ignore it. If I
Objection, Judge. He's testifying as to his personal
I'll
experience.
Right.
sustain the objection.
Can't do that.
In terms of two-factor authentication, how does that reveal itself on phones and devices?
It's readily identifiable by its face. I mean, we can look at the message and see what they are. Any users or people who engage in 2FA activity typically can identify them when they pop up.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Why didn't he use this
Your Honor, this would be identified
analogy?
as Defense Exhibit 159.
Why didn't he use this analogy? Like if you are going on, have you ever logged on to, if you ever logged on to your bank, it asks for a two-factor authentication. So not only did you go in and do your email and your password, it's saying, I'm going to send you this code. Let me know what this code is. That's a two-factor authentication.
Any objection to 159?
No.
159 evidence.
And it
What
comes
does this
via
say,
text
Mr.
message
Litsky? And if you could explain that to the ladies
on
and
your
gentlemen of the
phone.
jury.
At 1:34 a.m., or approximately 1:34 a.m. on February 19th, an application was installed on Ms. Banfield's mobile device. We can see the name of it, Thought Crime .secure SMS. That's the corporate name or the fancy name for Signal, which is a secure SMS message.
Okay, so this is what I was saying. Signal, thought crime, oh boy, you can't make this up, which is Signal. App was put on her phone. But it was used with her RN account. Oh, now that's interesting.
Messaging platform.
Can I just interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
What is SMS?
It's communications, messaging. It's just a digital communication platform.
Okay, sorry.
Huh.
No. So Signal was installed on Ms. Banfield's device at approximately 1:34 that same evening. Informative, although even though it didn't play into this case, this investigation, it is, I'd say, a comparable app to
Judge, I'm
Telegram.
going to object to that statement. I don't believe that the witness has laid any foundation to suggest that Signal wasn't part of this investigation.
I guess foundation is the question.
Okay. In your examination of the evidence that has been provided to the defense, does that inform your statement that you just made in terms of Signal?
Yes, my understanding of the evidence I've reviewed is that the suspect Gmail account was in use. Fetlife and Telegram was the secure messaging application that was used. Other similar applications like Signal, I did not see, nor was I made aware of any use by those on those platforms.
Okay.
That
Can you
was
please,
better
continue with your
explained.
answer.
Sure. Signal was installed on this device, irrespective of what its intended use was for. We saw the Signal 2FA code on the slide before, and that's expected of what we'd see with an installation. That's usually when they require us to confirm the device that we're registering. Just given that it was a secure SMS that was installed or at least reviewed around the same time that the Telegram app was also being installed, I thought it might be related, and I flagged it of interest for that purpose.
And
Yeah, and is
is there-
using her
is it
RN
noteworthy
account,
in your
not the
investigation,
not
email
the
account that
other
was used?
one.
So the email account that's on here is obviously Ms. Banfield's. That would be the account associated with the device itself in the Google Play Store, which is required to download apps. So yeah, that is the account that was associated with the phone and this resulting download.
I got it. I got it. They were trying to use Signal, but they couldn't because it was attached to her phone and attached to her Christine RN account. So that is why they didn't use it. They probably deleted it right away because it was associated with that. But Telegram could use her other one. Interesting. Okay.
Or installation.
Thank you, sir.
See, again, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not 100% buying what the defense is saying, right? I'm kind of going from the prosecution's theory and from what Juliana Magalhaes had said, right? So I'm trying to play both ends. I'm trying to dispel what they have to say, and figure out sort of what's the middle. But this makes sense as to why the Signal wasn't used and Telegram is because Signal was going to go to her phone. And they couldn't manipulate that if and when she was okay. Yep. I think I got it. Oh, the jury's going to have a hard time with this.
May I approach?
Yes, sir.
I don't think that they're allowed. I don't think that they're allowed to make all of these inferences. I think that they're not allowed to speculate. They're supposed to go off of what the evidence says. Hopefully
Slide
they-
before you.
Hopefully they found that
Sir, I'm
document so we can
gonna,
go
ask
back
you to look at
to
the slide
Fetlife
before
thing.
you. And that would be identified as 160, 160.
That's it.
Objection to 160. Okay.
Sir, what, if anything, did you look at in order to create this slide in terms of your digital forensics analysis?
This is a data location or a location of Ms. Magalhaes' device or phone or mobile phone on February 20th and at 10:46 p.m.
I'm sorry, did you say the co-defendant's name?
Yes,
Okay. And what was used to create this document?
this is data recovered from her phone itself.
Okay. And the map portion of it?
The digital forensic software we use, when it encounters a location artifact, it gives us a little map.
And what's the name
just-
of that? What's the name of that software?
This is a magnets. This is a magnet axiom
Okay.
software.
So it's the same as what Detective Miller used in extracting these devices and creating the portable case?
It is.
And so this would be identical to what you received from the portable case?
Yes, it's an artifact from within it.
Your Honor, I move that in as Commonwealth's Exhibit 160.
Our 160 evidence.
So we're into it. Well, you tell me, what's the significance of this, and is it related to what you just showed the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
This, I mean, this was a data point, a geographical data point recorded by Ms. Magalhaes' phone on the evening of February 20th, basically at 10:46 p.m.
And February 20th is significant for what reason?
I believe February 20th, there was significant Telegram conversation, maybe Fetlife conversation as well, and was the night of the voice verification phone call between with Joe Ryan.
Your Honor, I move that in as, I think they've already done that. Yes, thank you. Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
No, wait.
And in as, I think
Was the night of the voice verification phone call.
Oh,
between,
okay. Okay, so she's at Lifetime Fitness. Okay.
With Joe Ryan.
Your Honor, I move that in as, I think they've already done that. Yes, thank you. Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
She says she was at home?
Sir, can you identify this slide and the significance relating to what you just testified to?
This is part of a production from I'm sorry, this is a login to Ms. Banfield's, her true name Gmail account from the Banfield residence, also on February 20th, 2023 at 10:58 p.m.
Okay.
Oh,
and
shoot.
Banfield residence.
what you just-
Okay, hang on.
Your Honor, I move
What
that
time
in
was
as-
this at?
I think they've already done that. Yes, thank you.
Okay, 10:45. Sorry.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide. Sir, can you identify this slide and the significance relating to what you just testified to?
This is part of a production from I'm sorry, this is a login to Ms. Banfield's, her true name Gmail account from the Banfield residence, also on February 20th, 2023 at 10:58 p.m.
Okay, and is there a timing issue that you're highlighting here?
Can
Well, on
we
the
see, please?
prior slide, I think it was 10:46 p.m. Ms. Magalhaes, or at least her phone, was at Lifetime Fitness in Reston, Virginia. Here,
Can
12
we
minutes later,
see?
we have
Fudge.
somebody logging into Ms. Banfield's account from the house.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I identify this as Exhibit 161, and I'd move that into evidence.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
167 evidence. 161, sorry. No.
Your Honor, I'm going to move back to the back slide so that,
Okay, sorry. That's why we couldn't see it. Okay, so there was a login at 10:58 to her RN account.
Okay,
there's
go
context
back.
to what.
160 is in evidence.
Sir, was this the slide you were talking about, and this is the timing that you were talking about?
Sorry.
This is the beginning of a sequence of events and timing, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide, which will be designated or identified as 162.
Okay, but also
So,
remember that Juliana said that if they were both at the gym, one person would leave a little bit earlier so that one person could be on the account while the other person wasn't. So
You recognize this slide?
I
kind
did.
of
And what was it that
disqualifies what
you, analyzed to
Juliana
arrive at
says.
the information that's on this slide.
This is a geolocation artifact from Ms. Magalhaes' mobile device.
Your Honor, I move that in as Defense Exhibit 162.
Any objection?
No, thank you.
62 evidence.
Can you explain for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the significant aspects of this and why you created this slide?
So on the previous slide where we saw a login to Ms.
Hey.
Banfield's email account from the residence, essentially at the same time at 10:58 p.m., it appears Ms. Magalhaes was on her way back from the gym, or she was at least mobile. She's no longer at Lifetime Fitness in Reston. She's now just on the surface streets in and around Reston.
Okay, and do you have any sense of the distance to the house?
I think it's about a 15 or 17-minute drive, point to point from Lifetime Fitness in Reston to,
Okay. Where's Mr. Banfield? You haven't
to the
dispelled
Banfield
anything
residence
just yet.
in Herndon.
Where's he at?
Anything else about this slide?
Nope, it's just her location at the time.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide.
All right.
And is this a slide that you created relating to your digital forensic analysis?
It is.
And Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit 163.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
163.
Sir, can you explain for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the significance of this slide is relating to February 20th, 2023?
Sure. This is data from two records. The top sort of larger font, which is not done for any purpose. It's not large for any other purpose, or any significant purpose. This was Brendan's. I guess it's a swipe, but here his entry to the Lifetime Fitness in Reston on this evening. So they had him swiping in or arriving at 9:18 and 33 seconds. The lower three lines are from, I believe, a T-Mobile record showing Mr. Banfield's position as T-Mobile recorded it. And it's not precise. However, it does reflect the nearest tower, or the tower that was handling the data to Mr. Banfield's phone at the time of the record. So we see that he swiped into the gym at 9:18 p.m. T-Mobile, again, a service provider record is going to be in UTC, so we have to do some math. But the third line of the T-Mobile section at 3:59 a.m., that would show, that would actually correspond to February 20th, 2023 at 10:59 p.m. And he was still on the same tower. So the reason 3 towers were shown with the Roger Bacon Drive address is to show the consistency. So again, Mr. Banfield logged into the gym in Reston at 9:18. You see at 9:39 with the conversion of the first line of the T-Mobile records that their tower at Roger Bacon Drive in Reston, which is close in proximity to Lifetime Fitness, handled his data at the time. We see on the next line at which would now be 10:18 p.m. He was receiving data from T-Mobile on that same tower, and then the third line, which is 10:59 p.m., he's still receiving data from that same tower. So it's just one set of data points corroborating the other, confirming the other.
And so what would you conclude based upon that slide?
That at 10:59 p.m., Mr. Banfield was still in or at or
Objection
around.
calls for speculation.
It would be his device now.
Yes, based upon, okay. I think we have to speak in terms of the devices. What can you conclude based on this regarding his device or devices?
That Mr. Banfield's Lifetime Gym swipe card was arrested at 9:18, and that Mr. Banfield's mobile device was in vicinity of Lifetime Fitness through at least 10:59 p.m. on the evening of the 20th of February.
Here, I'm going to move to the next slide. And that will be 164.
Correct.
Sir, can you identify this?
I can.
And was this something that you created?
I did.
And what, if anything, did you use to create this?
Google Maps.
Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit 164.
Any objection?
No objection.
164.
Sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what this created slide says and what's the significance of it?
This is just a visual representation of what I was just describing. So the red dot on the left side of the screen is just the location of T-Mobile's tower at on Roger Bacon Drive. And we can see where it's fairly close to the Lifetime Fitness gym in Reston.
And is there any indication of where the device is at this time?
Well, on the prior slide, we saw where Mr. Banfield's device was on the evening of the 20th between, the 9 and 11 o'clock p.m. hours.
Okay.
This is just showing the tower that the data, what T-Mobile tells us.
Okay. And you created this to be a complement to what you had done in the previous slide?
Yes, just to visualize it. It's just to visualize it.
Your Honor, I'm going to move on to the next slide, which will be identified as Exhibit 165. Now, sir, do you recognize this slide?
I do.
And is this something you created?
It is.
Your Honor, I move this in as Defense Exhibit 165.
Any objection?
No, thank you.
165?
Sir, if you can explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what's the significance as it relates to February 20th, 2023?
This is another geolocation point from Ms. Magalhaes' mobile device.
And what does it tell us?
So this is an artifact from 11:06 and 50 seconds p.m., so 11:07 p.m. And this is what, so Ms. Magalhaes had an Apple iPhone, and one of the things that iPhones do is they create significant location visits for us. So places we go frequently, like home, work, gym, Apple categorizes them as significant locations of visits. Doesn't mean anything for us as users, but on the back end as a digital forensic examiner, artifacts like this can be informative. So in this case, it tells me this is when she probably walked through the door, and you know, her iPhone says I'm home, basically.
Okay, hang on.
Of visits. Doesn't mean anything for us as users, but on the back end as a digital forensic examiner, artifacts like this can be informative. So in this case, it tells me this is when she probably walked through the door, and you know, her iPhone says I'm home, basically.
Okay, so at 11:06, arrives home. Okay, I'm still okay. I'm still not 100% convinced of this. So, Juliana is on the phone with Joe Ryan around 10:45 p.m. The login to Christine Banfield's RN account is at 10:58, and he's at the gym too. So we also have to consider that they have a child, right? So Brendan and Juliana are at the gym. Okay. A phone call happens with Joe Ryan. And then her laptop gets logged into. So Juliana and Brendan are at the gym. Christine's home with Valerie, their child, and she logs onto her RN account. I don't see anything different with anybody else. I'm not getting there.
The next slide, which will be designated as Exhibit 166. Sir, what is this artifact?
This is a login to a website, a commercial website.
And what's the commercial website?
It's anova.org. It's an ananova.org website.
And what's the significance of having this artifact?
So this is from Ms. Banfield's computer, and I'm aware from the details of the investigation that she worked at Anova.
And is the time significant relating to this investigation into Telegram?
It's related to the investigation. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Specifically the Telegram.
What's the significance of this?
Well, again, this is there was significance of this date. There are events relative to this date. So what I'm trying to do is determine attribution by looking at all the devices and everybody's location to the extent I can figure it out. So this is just another artifact as we're walking through this evening. This is also at 11:07 p.m., closer to 11:08 p.m. Maybe within a minute of Ms. Magalhaes, or at least her device, arriving home.
Now, in terms of you used the term attribution. I think Detective Miller used that term as well. Is that a term of art in the digital forensics world?
It seems to be a goal we're frequently chasing.
Okay, so how would you describe it in kind of plain terms for me and the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Sure, as Detective Miller said, it's tough for us without a video or being there to put any one of us behind the keyboard, so to speak. Who's holding the device? Who's actually manipulating the data? And as he also pointed out, other informative data points can be helpful in providing context and providing corroborative information.
Can we see what you're
Just
talking
by way
about?
of an example, in this particular case, we have 3 people. If, or in any case, where if we have 3 people, unsure who's using the device, if 2 people can be confirmed out of the house and activity on the device occurs within the house by relative easy deduction, we can then use those external data points of confirmation of the two people out of the house to confirm or conclude that the person in the house was responsible for the data. There's not much, it doesn't get much easier than that. That's an oversimplification, but that's a goal.
How crucial is the timestamp of these artifacts with regard to your investigation into these types of investigations?
It can be quite crucial. You know, the amount of time, for example, in this investigation, you know, there are allegations or claims of, you know, device removal as part of the scheme to facilitate the scheme. So, you know, is the timing based on the artifacts facilitate that? Is there enough time for a device to be removed from somebody who's active on one and then be used for any purpose by somebody else without them knowing it, right? I mean, if it's one thing, if, you know, we take a shower, you know, if it's a 10 or 15 minute gap, that might lend enough time for a device to be removed, used, and put back.
Judge, objection calls for speculation.
All right, also.
Okay. I think we've probably gone where we need to go on that. So I'm going to move on to the next slide.
We didn't see what the other one was.
Here, I'm going to identify it as Defense Exhibit 167.
Okay.
Sir, do you recognize that?
I do.
And what's the significance of that artifact in relation to your investigation?
This is a login from the Banfield residence on the same evening of February 20th to the alleged suspect account, the CBRN 920 account that was used to facilitate ultimately the Fetlife and then onto the telegram and the eventual meeting.
Can we see it?
Your Honor, I'd identify this and ask for it to be moved into evidence number 167.
Any objection?
No, thank you.
67?
See it,
And once
please?
the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and see that, can you please go over what the significance of this is?
Sure. As I said, this is a login reported by Google to the CBRN 920 Gmail account. So that is the email account that was being used to facilitate or to set up Fetlife and then ultimately to the communication which led to the events of the 24th.
Okay. So at 11:08 p.m. Okay, at 11:08 p.m. the 920 RN Gmail is open. Okay.
Of February in 2023. This was on the evening of February 20th, and the time was 11:08 and 13 seconds, so 11:08 p.m.
And I'm sorry, did you mention the account that was created or that was used?
Yeah, yes, Judge asked to answer.
I just didn't hear, Judge, I'm sorry.
Right.
If it was, that's fine.
I did.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to move on to Exhibit 168. Oh, sorry. Is there anything additional that relating to your digital forensic analysis on 167 that you can explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
There is, I mean, the timing to me was significant on this particular artifact, but we'd have to point it out, go back to the slide prior,
Okay.
if
Your Honor,
that's possible.
if I may, I'm going to go back to this slide prior.
Yeah, the slide prior we didn't get to see, so I don't know what you're talking
Your Honor,
about.
can we publish that to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Judge, I don't believe it's been admitted.
Excuse me?
I don't believe it's been admitted.
I thought this was the one prior.
It is.
No, that's
He did.
166.
Oh,
You
sorry,
went
sorry.
the wrong way, I think.
My big fingers.
no, you had it. No, going backwards, sorry. This one. No, forward one.
Yeah, go forward one.
I'm pressing too hard.
All right, stop.
Okay, sorry. You were saying to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
They know.
Is this one in?
166 is not enough.
Oh, Your Honor, move it in as,
166, no objection.
Okay, there we go. Now we can.
okay, now we have context
Oh.
in terms of what you're saying. I apologize. Please explain for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the
Okay.
significance of this, and then hopefully I'll get.
Huh. Okay, so at 11:07, the blue ANOVA was logged into. Okay.
Move forward to the other one so you can talk about that as well.
Right. So this was, again, from Ms. Banfield's laptop, the Lenovo laptop. And this is an Innova.org website, if you can. So that's a remote access to the Innova website where she worked. And this was on the evening of the 20th at 11:07. And this ties into what we were talking about earlier, the sequencing and the window. So the time of this particular access was 11:07 and 49 seconds. I know I've been rounding up and down and saying 11:07, 11:08, but this one's important to go granular. So we have this one at 11:07 and 49 seconds. And now if you could.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you can see him, he's looking right at you, right? And he's like, are you buying this? Are you buying this? Are you buying this? I don't know. I don't know. Yep.
So this
I don't know.
activity, which is a login to the suspect email account, was 23 seconds later, 24.
And this is identified as 167.
Dates and evidence.
Yes.
167.
I just want to say for the record.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So
24 seconds later. So that's a window.
okay. So at 10:58, her RN account was logged in. This one's hard. This one's a little tricky.
Window we're talking about here. For me as an investigator with the facts consistent with this case, we've gone from a activity on the laptop that is unique to one person. In this case, to my understanding.
Objection calls for speculation.
Yeah.
All right, that's a stating.
Can you explain it in a different way?
We've gone from unrelated activity, related activity on the laptop, unrelated to the scheme, 24 seconds later, to something central to the scheme. So we've gone from the Nova website to the suspect Gmail account in a 24-second window.
And just so we're clear, the Nova website was, what device was that on?
Ms. Banfield's laptop.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide. This will be Defense Exhibit 168.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sir, what is this artifact?
This is a login or usage of the Telegram app on Ms. Banfield's laptop computer.
Okay. And is there anything significant about the start time and end time, I guess?
The start time is of most significance here at this stage of our chronology. It's at 11:09 and 12 seconds p.m.
Your Honor, I move that in.
Any objection?
No, thank you.
168.
I apologize. Mr. Lidsky, can you explain that to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to give them context?
Sure. This is the Telegram app in use on Ms. Banfield's laptop at on 2/20/23 at 11:09 and 12 seconds p.m. So now 59 seconds after the suspect Gmail account was in use, also from a Windows device at the residence.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to the next slide. Your Honor, may I just consult the counsel?
Are you asking me to leave in the calendar? Well, we've done what we had so far. We can put the whole thing in, so.
Exhibit in as Exhibit 169.
Any objection?
Just confirming with counsel that this is extracted from our previously admitted exhibit of all of the messages. No
All right,
objection.
169 evidence.
Thank you. Sir, what is this?
These are Telegram messages between the account purported to be used by Ms. Banfield and Mr. Ryan.
And does that coincide with what we previously saw?
Yeah, these are just a subsection of the messages exchanged on these two accounts. This relates to the time period that we're reviewing currently. So this is February 20th, 23, beginning the first blue bubble on the left is at 11:17 p.m. And then 11:18 p.m. for the green, and then later at 11:18 p.m. for the next blue.
Your Honor, I'm going to move on to the next slide.
All right.
I believe that'll be identified as Exhibit 170.
Okay.
Sir, do you see that on your screen?
I do.
And, excuse me, what's the significance of this item?
These are Fetlife messages from the night of February 20th, 2023.
And, Your Honor, I move these in as Defense Exhibit 170.
Any objection?
And same judge, I believe we've got
Okay.
the entire document in already.
All right, 170.
Now, sir, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it is as a digital forensic examiner you're looking at in the context of your investigation of February 20th?
Sure. Well, again, on this particular date, we have some key events on this particular, at this particular time. We've got key device usage or potential attribution and location information for the 3 people central to the investigation at this point in time. That's Ms. Banfield, Ms. Magalhaes, and Mr. Banfield. This is a subset of the Fetlife records that we've been talking about. This is particularly for this evening at this point in time. And these are only the outgoing messages from the account purported to be used by Ms. Banfield. So these, if the messages don't make sense, it's because you're not seeing the entire conversation here. We're just looking at the outbound responses from the.
Oh my goodness, I cannot see that. See if we can arrange something. Give me some examples of what you want. I don't have them as it isn't something I do with my husband. I don't share my pictures. Really, I prefer to stay private and low key. And this is on the 20th. And then I don't know this time because it might be that UTC time. Okay.
The account in question relative to this discussion.
And the name at the top there, what's the significance of that?
So one of the messages this evening was about starting, and this is in the larger, for what I analyzed in the larger Fetlife communication. We saw where Telegram was installed in the prior deck, I think on the 19th. Now we're seeing where we start to transition from Fetlife to Telegram by the person using this account.
Mr. Carroll, is this a good time to take a break?
Yes, yes.
All right, let's go and take our
Wait,
first break at this
go,
time. ladies
keep
and gentlemen.
going, keep
Do
going.
not discuss case with anybody and don't do any outside research.
Keep going. Oh, darn. All right. So I'm going to end this one right here because I like to have just like a smaller stream on YouTube so people can watch it as their leisure instead of big, long download. So here we are. We are at the end of the first half of the morning of day 8 for the Brendan Banfield trial. What we're going over right now is we're going over, we're getting a timeline, right? We're timeline and receipts. We're getting that, which is really, really, really good because remember the key aspect is whether or not Christine Banfield was the user on these accounts or whether or not it was Juliana and Brendan. Were they using her devices to manipulate things? And it's not clear. It's not clear. We still don't have a clear picture. So this is part 1. Come back for part 2 for the rest of day 8. And remember, they're getting ready to have a weather event. So we don't know if court's going to be courting next week, what day, what time, etc. So that's why they came in today. See you soon. Thanks for watching Legalese 123. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe for more content.